Hi, thanks for watching another edition of Parenting the Clay Way. I'm John Clay.
And I am Travis McCabe.
Travis, how are things at Green Bean Coffee and with the family?
Doing well on both accounts. It's getting busier and busier.
We're kind of into that holiday anywhere, between Thanksgiving and New Year's Eve is all this
It's a
rush
hustle
of
and bustle.
kind of craziness,
It is.
right?
It's a hustle and bustle.
The bank account definitely takes a hit, I think, right? I mean,
It does.
For the most part, you're hoping to get through to January.
Exactly.
So one of the things we want to talk about is buying clothing, and I want to put shoes into that too.
Sure.
Not only are we talking about sometimes we're getting it for gifts, but a lot of times you just have to get it because the kids need things.
Right.
And what I would say is that it's not generally practical for most of us to buy whatever name brand, whatever the kids want at all times.
Right.
It's a tough thing to know that. Boy, they're going through clothes a lot quickly sometimes, especially those younger years.
Oh, yeah.
They're doubling their shoe size, it seems like, every
story.
year. And then they wreck things. They're so tough on their clothes. Like in my kids' age, 4, 6, and 9. I mean, it's shocking how quickly they go through shoes and pants.
You know what? And I don't think it gets any better. Maybe it's not so much how rough they are in their clothes, but the amount of clothes that they have because they require to be changed 3 times in a day.
Oh,
Yeah,
I haven't got that one, luckily.
It's like I don't know why. I don't understand. It's like they will wake up, they'll shower, and they'll have an outfit on. That would normally be it for the day.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to the mall. I will be right back. Done. And then back from the mall. Another change of clothes. And the next thing you know, you're like, school's coming on Monday, and you've already gone through like 9 different outfits.
Wow.
And they're like, we don't have any clothes. I don't know what to tell you. Pick one of the ones you just wore.
And the
like 3
laundry
days.
would be atrocious too to try to get that
forget
done.
about it. But it's, yeah.
So one of the thoughts is, where do you go to get clothing that how do you balance a budget? I personally know that sometimes there are people. They're very fortunate if there's people in your lives that have kids that can give you things rather than give them to Goodwill. They're
Sure.
like, well, they know that they're gonna be great for your family, and so they donate
Right.
that. That's fantastic. But and then we don't all have that.
Right.
So I really do occasionally go to Goodwill and Salvation Army. You can find some really great clothing, especially, by the way, Halloween. We're past that now, but the
Right.
Halloween stuff was awesome there. But, there's some great stuff that, especially jackets, are great, and things and certain types of things where maybe it's a rougher item, but whatever. I mean, there's so many
Right.
things that sometimes it has the tags on it still.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And never been worn, and why would I pay $20 to $30 to $40 when I could pay less than 10?
Right,
And now
exactly.
my budget has been extended, and for me with 3 boys, the one cool thing I will say for mine is that I do have the ability to give hand-me-downs. I don't love the idea that all the kids are going to tend to get hand-me-downs. I want them all to have new clothing.
right.
But what are your thoughts about getting different used items?
We always kind of go by, what do they need, and most of them, they'll have their school clothes. That's always a necessity, and those will always buy new. But then it's from there. It's like, if they're like, well, I need more sweatpants. Well, or I need this. Or if you're talking about basic stuff that you plan on just wearing around the house or lounging around the house or going out and you're just going to be tearing them up in, why go out and buy, X amount of dollars for something like you said, where you can go to, Goodwill, or you can go to, Salvation Army, or any places like that. And like you said, a lot of them already have the tags on, not to drop a business, but Gabriel Brothers. Gabriel Brothers is phenomenal. They have great brand clothing, at discount prices, that are fantastic, for that type of thing.
It's usually just like out of season,
Yeah.
Or maybe it's a discontinued model,
Right.
or brand,
Yeah,
or something
absolutely.
like that.
Or but there's there's a ton of different options out there, for that. And and if it's available, why wouldn't we want to make a dollar stretch?
Well, and the other thing that when we interview folks from Salvation Army or Goodwill, you're actually putting people to work
Right.
in those agencies that maybe you'd have a hard time working in other environments. This is an environment that kind of it benefits us, that keeps this stuff out of the landfill. I mean, and then we're generating a lot of employment from some of these places too. That's just fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of good with buying, not just buying local, obviously, but to helping and buying different things, from a secondhand or a thrift shop, so to speak. Plato's Closet's phenomenal build out. The structure that they have, in State College. I wish there was a Plato's Closet here.
Yeah.
You're talking people who will trade in, name brand clothes to get credit to go and buy more of the stuff in the same store.
Yeah.
I've had friends who literally will do that on almost a weekly basis, and they're just constantly just switching out outfits and clothes because they have the ability to.
Yeah.
But why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And whenever you have three boys, it's it just makes sense.
Yeah. It's surprising, like I said, how the clothing isn't really built to last like it used to.
Truth.
You think about the double knees. I get a lot of pants that have double knees. They still don't hold up.
Right.
And these shoes, they just completely fall apart. And it is not like they used to be. Now I know we probably had junkier shoes too when we were kids, but it seems like there was always some good quality stuff that we wore that didn't fall apart.
Right. Yeah, it is. It is. In fact, this past weekend, our one son, he came to me. He's like, "Oh, I gotta get a new pair of pants." We were actually out the mall shopping around, and I was like, "Okay," I'm like, "Well, what are you looking for?" He's like, "Well, I'll take care of it." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." I didn't ask if you want me to buy them. I was like, "What are you looking for?" And he's like, "Well," he's like, "my pants." He's like, I was pulling them up, and I was joking around, and next thing I know, I tore like in my pocket or something like that. And I'm sitting there thinking, well, you didn't really it's not like you were running around and actually all you did was just pull them up and you tore the pocket. And I'm sitting there thinking, it's a little, I want to say a shoddy material, but when he went back and he found those pants, they were like $45 to $50 pants. And I'm like, what?
That's crazy. Very disappointing.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I have the problem of really wanting to make sure that they getting the kids switch into their play clothes is tough, because I'll find them out. And then I had one of the boys actually put his good shoes on to play in, and his bad shoes, he wore those to school. Made no sense to me. And he couldn't really, I think they were more comfortable, maybe the ones that are all worn and gross.
Right, they're broken in.
And so he wanted those at school, and then he was trying to break in the other ones. I don't know exactly. But man, shoes can be so ridiculous.
Yeah,
and then
they're
already either worn out or outgrown them.
Mm-hmm. Outgrowing them, I think is one of the biggest problems as they're growing. Our youngest son, Adrian, he's a shorter guy. He's a shorter guy, but man, he has feet like a hobbit. So and we're just like, you're gonna grow into your feet just like anything else, and we're waiting for it. But I'll tell you what, I'm like, good God, kid. Where'd you get these things at?
Wow. Surfing.
Yeah.
You could, water skiing or whatever.
It's amazing. I'm like, well, how do you walk around with a short little body and your feet like that?
Well, it's certainly a good idea as we're looking for, in the holiday season, we look for ideas to shop. And so it's nice to be able to give them one great outfit that's a name brand or whatever that they really wanted. And that's cool to be able to do that. But I think that also, if you give them some of the other things that are not quite as expensive, they'll have a little more appreciation for what they do get. Then, like, I don't think that giving them everything they want is the best plan. You know, because they'll quickly just they won't have an appreciation for it either.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree.
You do find that you want them to treat things with care and with respect, and when they know it was something of value, and this is my special outfit, they do tend to treat it better.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, we're pretty blessed where our kids are all working now, so a lot of things, if they say they want to go to the mall, you know, they're not quite hitting, you know, Katie and I up for cash for clothes. If they want something, they have the ability now to buy it.
Yeah.
You know, but you're absolutely right. They buy something, you know, they're taking a little bit more careful care of it, you know, because it's no longer money out of our pockets. It's money that they had spent, that they had earned, that, you know, and they used it for this. So it's a little bit more appreciation for it when it comes out of their own pocket.
Good for you. That's lucky. You lucky man. All right. Well, we hope we shared some good ideas and thoughts about buying clothes and expensive shoes. Certainly, it's a struggle, but we encourage you to check out some of the Goodwill and Salvation Army and Plato's Closet. A lot of great options out there as well. So until next time, I'm John Clay.
I'm Travis McCabe.
Thanks for watching Parenting the Clay Way.